this video, we will turn our attention to sampling in qualitative research. I will begin with some general remarks about qualitative research and then turn to question how we sample, what is being sampled, and what is a good sample in qualitative research in marketing. Let's start with the differences between qualitative and quantitative research. Quantitative marketing researchers tend to look for numbers, and the larger the number, for example, the larger the sample, the better the research. By contrast, qualitative researchers look for insight concerning consumer behaviors and attitudes. They frequently use semi-structured, open-ended questions and use probing to give participants the opportunity to respond in their own words rather than force them to choose from structured responses as in quantitative methods. Open-ended questions have the ability to invoke responses that are meaningful and salient to the participants and often produce anticipated comments and rich and exploratory insights. In qualitative sampling, there is little point in trying to gather large samples. Instead, qualitative researchers embrace non-probability sampling, and the samples tend to be smaller and more closely linked with the concepts of interest. This close link between the theoretical concepts and the sample is exemplified by the notion of purposive sampling. The sampling is purposeful because researchers select individuals, sites or events that can inform the understanding of the research problem and are central to the phenomena being studied. There are multiple ways in which you can sample purposely, and they vary depending on your purpose. Here are just few examples of the most frequently used strategies. For example, extreme case may be a specific instance of something happening that is illustrative of the phenomena. Typical case may be something that you will find as average. I will refer you to Miles and Huberman for more details. On the question what to sample, please note that the object of sampling differs by the type of research you carry out and your research design. For example, the design may focus on text or language data, and then your principal method of data collection is an interview, and for that you will sample people. However, if you are following an ethnographic study, then your design may involve sampling places or groups of people. On the question of what to sample, please note that the object of sampling differs by the type of research you are doing and the design. For example, if you are interested in language data and are carrying out interviews, then you may sample people, places or times. For example, consumers at a particular mall or consumers visiting a place at a particular time. If you are following an ethnographic study, then your design may involve sampling people, groups of people, contexts, times or events. For example, you may sample cafes in a particular study or particular type of event such as an advertising campaign. Those of you who focus on textual data and focus on content analysis may sample specific media such as websites or newspapers or specific dates. Similar to quantitative research, the question of sample size is quite a critical one and without a clear answer. The general principle in qualitative research is that you intend to study fewer individuals or cases and tend to collect extensive detail about each of those individuals. Beyond this general principle, the size of the sample in qualitative research varies depending on your research design. In ethnography or case study, a single case or a single group with numerous artifacts and interviews and observations may be sufficient. When you carry interviews, you select a few key informants. Please note that in qualitative research, a smaller sample size is often compensated by much larger volume of data that are required to build your research. That is, you will tend to deal with larger volumes of data from interviews, observations and secondary sources. To finish the thinking about qualitative research, one key lesson might be particularly useful. In your dissertation project, you have to show that you've thought about the type of person you are going to interview and that you have selected those people in a systematic manner. Your methodology chapter has to justify how you selected your respondents and why this selection enables you to answer your research question. And with this thought, I will move to the next session. Bye bye.